Okay, first thing we're going to do is remove these extension springs. I've used the garage door opener to lock the door open for safety. We're going to use a set of vice grips. Vice grips are to prevent the garage door from falling. Now you're going to want to unplug the garage door opener. Let's say the homeowner comes home or the homeowner's child comes home and hits that button. Well, a bunch of bad things are going to happen and you're going to be working the door. So you want to unplug the garage door opener to ensure that nobody hits it. But that's going to make sure the door stays up while I remove the extension springs. Vice grips are the backup. Okay, now for the extension springs. Basically, you got an extension spring and a safety cable. Hopefully you have a safety cable. This cable inside the spring prevents this spring from breaking and going flying. Let me show you what happens when the extension spring breaks. If you look over here, you will see the metal angle iron is bent. These things can cause all kinds of damage when they break. You don't want to be running. If you don't have a safety cable in there, that spring will probably shoot into that room over there. So now we're going to get this apart. When you're working with these cables, be very careful. They can be jagged, they can have frays, and it hurts. I always like to keep my work site clean so I don't fall over it. When I'm not making videos, I'm usually not paying attention to what I'm moving my ladder around, and I don't want to fall. So once I get each side down, we will clear our work area. And this is why extension springs, they're a DIY solution. They come with doors that are purchased at the big box stores. They last 3 to 6 years, and they're going to ruin your door. So if you have them and they look like this, replace them, and/or go with Torsion Conversion, which is a much better system, much safer, and it'll last 5 times longer. All right, let's get to the other side here. Now this door has no springs on it. If I was to release it, remove those vice grips, it would go slamming to the ground. All right, so now we're going to add the new cables. I do the new cables now because I don't want to fight with the bottom spacing here with this brick. There's not enough room to get in there. So if you do them when the door's up, it'll save you a lot of time here in a minute. But ensure this door is not going to move. Have your vice grips, have it locked up. Because if your hands are right here and this door moves, well, you will be calling me because you'll need a hand. No pun intended. So you take the cables over the outside, that way when the door goes down, they don't get caught up. so now we're ready to take the door down. This garage door probably weighs 90 pounds. I'm a pretty strong guy, but 90 pounds is a lot of weight to get when you don't know what you're expecting. So I'm gonna ask my cameraman here to get the red release cord. I get one hand in the door, remove my vice grips, go down, and you pull it through. No, it's heavy, help, 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 help. No, I'm just kidding. I'll get some aluminum. And this is a pretty light door as far as doors go. All right, now we're going to get our impact. And we're going to start taking apart some of the things here. If you've never used an impact, go get one. They're the greatest thing ever. They're a lot of fun. They don't use drills no more. All right, so we're removing our pulleys. These pulleys were used to allow the cables to go to the back. We don't need them anymore. So we're opening up our hardware kit here. You'll see we got some lags and we got some 9/16 bolts. In the garage door business, you'll commonly come across three sizes of bolts: 7/16, 1/2 inch, 9/16. It's pretty much what you're going to find. We bring in specific tools for that job. When we run across something that's not, it drives us crazy, and we had to run to our car and frantically search for it. So these are going to go on right now. These are end bearings. They need 2 points of contact, and those points of contact have to be good. If they're not properly seated, they will cause all kinds of issues, and your door will break. There is a right and left. Okay, they're labeled left-hand side right here. These mount just like this. You're going to want to get these as straight as possible, but in some situations you can't get them perfectly straight. They can be at an angle because of maybe the way the jamb is or the way the wall's set up. Straight is preferable, and we have our 2 points of contact. In some situations you cannot get two points of contact like this. You're then going to want to take and put a lag right there into the wood. The reason I don't do that on every one of them is there's only so many holes you can put in that wood, and these are strong. So we take our impact, straighten everything up. It's up there real good. Now, one of the things the homeowner did is he did some repairs himself and loosened some stuff up. So, we got to fix that. So whenever I notice something that is not right, I fix it immediately. I don't wait and come back. I tell you why. You'll forget. It was out of norm. And those are supposed to be there for a reason. And I carry extra bolts because I'm constantly dropping stuff. You'll see I'm switching between two impacts. That is a 1/4 inch drive. This is a 3/8 drive. The reason I do that is to save a little bit of time. And you're probably thinking I might if I had 2 batteries. And you would be correct. I did forget to put my other battery in my battery. Alright, so we're good to go there. Let's go on to the right hand side. So we're probably going to break this video up a little bit because I think there's a time limit you can have, but we're kind of recording it all one shot. So. Hey, you know, if I'm not dropping stuff, I don't think I'm trying hard enough. All right, while I'm up here, guys, I want to show you something. This operator arm pulls the door right here. That's how it lifts it. This is an 8-foot wide door. They don't come from the manufacturer with a reinforced strut or an opener arm reinforcement bracket. That's fine, I guess, when you first get your door, but over time, this part will start to bend. Michael, if you turn around and show them the top of the door right there. Other door, right in the middle. You see it? Now, that door right there is starting to pull back and bend. So today we're also going to be adding a strut and an operator arm reinforcement bracket to ensure that the panel doesn't ever decide to bend. It's just a great thing to do to doors because when they get older, that panel will break. And not always can you get a panel for a door. Alright, so you gotta tighten this up a little bit. But that is a misconception that you can always get a hold of a panel. Sometimes your door gets 10, 15 years on it, you will not be able to get a hold of a panel. Even if you do, it's going to be faded. It's going to look pretty much worse than what it would now. That is nice and started. Alright, now we're going to install our torsion tube. To save a little bit of time, I like to go ahead and get some of it pre-staged. First thing I need to do is get my drums. Well, I'll tell you what, for the video, we're going to do it one at a time so you can see what goes where. Alright, so. Install our center bearing bracket. As you can see, it will eventually hold our center bearing. So we are going to offset this. We don't want it directly there, because we have to bolt these things in. Alright, we have a really good header board there. If this board was not as nice as it is, we may have to add a new header board because this is the one part of the garage door that cannot fail. If it does, these springs will release and you'll have a giant mouse trap and you'll be calling somebody. So take consideration the strength of your board is very, very important. Alright, so now we're going to take our spring. Our spring has a red mark right there. That means it's going to go on this side of the door. Left is always red, right is always black. You see, This drum, it's red, that's red. It all goes on this side. This is black, it goes on that side. Some garage doors can have one spring, some can have two. This door is a hollow back, 8 foot by 8 foot garage door. It doesn't need much more than this. So we're gonna get our spring on. All right, don't forget to slide the bearing on. We're gonna need that. If you forget that, you'll remember it in about a week because this tube will be in 2 pieces. Okay, once you get that on, you're then going to want to bolt it in place. We call these hanger bolts, 9/16 preferably, but that'd be about 2 inches long. Moving on to our drums. These are aluminum and they wind the cables up. It's very important that you don't get these damaged. Check them for cracks. If you drop them, they will get damaged. We are ready to set our cables. All right, this is the most important part to balancing a garage door. You're going to need your vice grips for this. You're going to need a 7/16 wrench, which is the most common tool we use that is sitting in my truck because I prepared well for this video. I wanted to make sure I had everything I could possibly run across. It's much easier to use your 7/16 wrench. But I'm going to have to go get it and pause my video. There we go.
You want me to grab it?
No, you go ahead and just pause the video, Michael. Now I am setting my set screws. It's 3/4 turns past metal. So I'm touching metal. 1, 2, 3. If you crank that down, the next person that works in the store is not going to be happy with you because it is going to be very difficult. It's going to put a mark in this tube and things won't move off of it. I'm setting my tube. Vice grips, I set my vice grips. I turn back, I get a little bit of lift out of the door. I'm ensuring that that cable is tight. I don't want to lift the door up, but this cable has to be tight. I call it the banjo. If you can hear a little bit of noise from the cable like that, you're in good shape. This drum has to be fully seated against your end bracket. If not, it'll move, door will crash, bad things. All right, so now we're going to set our other side. And we got to restring our cable. Very important to make sure the cables are all the way in the back. If this was out on the side of the wheel, you won't be doing it again. So how you set this side? Very similar. Get up here, make sure it's all in there right. Push your slack out. Pull back, a little bit of lift. we go. You're set. Tighten this down. Yeah, don't over tighten these or you're going to put a bite in that tube and it's going to cause you problems. Now we're going to wind our springs. Winding drudgery spring is extremely dangerous. And the second most important tool I need is my winding bars. Hang tight. Okay, we have our winding bars. They come in all shapes and sizes. This is a residential set. When you're winding drudgery springs, you must pay attention. This spring, if it breaks, comes loose, it'll hurt you. How I'm doing this, I've did 100 times. I do it pretty fast. This aluminum cone right here, it looks solid. You never think about it breaking. These, if they get cracks in them, if they're damaged from the manufacturer, if you feel it in the back of your truck and there's a crack in here, and you start to wind, that crack will bust. Most likely you get something in your eyes, but it'll probably scare you and you fall off the ladder. So always be cognizant of what you're doing up here. Don't wind springs if you haven't done it before. Call a professional, get a little bit of training, fix your next door. But trying this off the rip from a YouTube video, not gonna be a good idea. All right, so this is how we wind this door. Essentially it's 1/4 turn per foot in a door. This is an 8-foot door. I have to wind it 32 times. I can go plus or minus 3 on my winds based on experience. And we always do one extra to make sure this cable is nice and tight if the door gets pushed up too far. So this is how you wind springs. Nah, I'm just kidding, it's not that hard yet. All right. Now I'm keeping my hand here to make sure we don't damage this door. A lot of times we'll have a strut there, it's a little nicer. 3/4 turns, so I promise you, 3/4 turns will keep this spring in place. Do not turn it a gazillion times, because if you do, I will have to grind this tube off, and it will drive me crazy. All right, so now we're gonna carefully release our tension, push up slightly, get a feel. All right, that's what you're looking for. Now we're going to be replacing the rollers in this garage door as well. So some of that grinding you're hearing is these old rollers. Michael, can you get to zoom in? Come here, Michael. I want to show you something. All right, do you see this roller right here? Look how wobbly that is. Can you see it? That is broken. That's going to fail. So a lot of the noise we're hearing, that one's not as bad. But overall, all these doors have busted bearings in the rollers. Rollers are very important to keep the door in the track. All right, let's get a feel for this door. Let's see how it is. First time you open up a door, nice and slow. Listen for any problems. All right. Now this is where the garage opener is set. You want to check your cables. Make sure this is tight. If that's not tight up there, you did it wrong. You gotta do it again. Because as soon as you hit the motor and it goes to go down, well, it's not gonna go down. It's gonna, because it's not gonna be on there. Okay, well this is gonna conclude this portion of the video. Here in a minute, we're gonna replace the rollers, and then we're gonna do some under seal. Then we're gonna add some reinforcement brackets, and I don't know, maybe put a little bit of lube on it to make sure it's nice and quiet. Thanks.